Welcome everyone to the Temple of Light, Center for Spiritual Livings, LoveStream. A big welcome to all the mothers, grandmothers, and beautiful women who mentor us every day. Happy Mother's Day and welcome. Please join me in the opening affirmative prayer, the prayer of our center. The Temple of Light, Center for Spiritual Living, is a sacred field. The Temple of Light, Center for Spiritual Living, is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate. To touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and is surrounded by the presence of God, and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and the glory forever, and so it is. This morning, I have a special poem entitled Give Thanks by a famous author popularly known as Anonymous. For all that God in mercy for help and children, home and friends, for comfort in the time of need, for every kindly word and deed, for happy thoughts and holy walk, for guidance in our daily walk. For everything, give thanks. For the sweet sleep which comes at night, for the returning morning's light, for the bright sun that shines on high, for the stars glittering in the sky, for these and everything we see, O Lord, our hearts will lift to Thee. For everything, give thanks. We will now have our praise song, Defying Gravity, by Andrew and Christina.
Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for a second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts. Close my eyes and sleep. It's time to try to defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye. I'm defying gravity, and you won't bring me down. I'm through accepting limits, 'cause someone says they're so. Some things I cannot change, but till I try, I'll never know. Too long I've been afraid of losing love, I guess I've lost. Well, if that's love, it comes at much too high a cost. And sooner I defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye. I'm defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity, and you'll bring me down. I think I'll try defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye. I'm defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity, and you'll bring me down, bring me down.
Christina and Andrew for Defying Gravity. In honor of my mother, who made her transition in January of this year, I dedicate this power talk, which I have entitled Lessons I've Learned from My Mother. Mom, where do I even begin? In my eyes, she was a perfect expression of unconditional love and peace. My mom is one of a kind woman. Is a one-of-a-kind woman, and she is the light of my world. Growing up, life wasn't easy. In other words, things started going downhill after Dad passed in 2002. Boy, things were really rough, but she made by example. Yes, what she by example taught us that regardless of how hard life may seem, once you get up and try to make an effort to improve yourself, whether physically, emotionally, or spiritually, the Father will help you along the way. I remember days when nothing was there, and regardless of her being unable to move around as she wanted to, she ensured that none of her two children left without something to eat and a cup of tea. It amazed me that a woman who could barely walk insisted on playing her role and be treated as everyone else. In my eyes, she did everything perfect, and I adored her for that. She taught me that ambition along with respect can carry you a far way. And if you believe you can move mountains, it can be possible. She showed me that you can never be too kind or needy to lend a helping hand. And through her warm hugs and kisses, she taught me that regardless of your physical, social, or financial status, there is a way once you believe. Her not being around is one of the hardest things that I have to deal with now. But I accept here that, yes, I accept that her spirit is with me always. Thank you, Mom. Alright, so I'll now light the candle. I light this candle on behalf of all the children of the world. Let us behold the Christ in them. I light this candle on behalf of all the mothers of the world. Let us behold the Christ in them. Right, and now for a brief reminder. Our offices at 46 Freeway Avenue are open Monday to Friday between the hours of 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You may drop off your tithes and love offerings at the office or make direct lodgement to our BNS New Kingston branch savings account number 20941 or look for our PayPal account on this Facebook live stream page. Prayer services are available as follows through our prayer line 876-978-1167, or you may set an appointment with the practitioner by calling our office at 876-927-6145 or 876-946-2230. Or if you wish to speak directly to one of our ministers, you may call 876-289-0907 between the hours of 8 a.m. and 12 midnight, Mondays to Friday. Please remember that love has no social distance. We are always together. The first song this morning is our special tribute to mothers performed by Miss Judy Francis entitled The Greatest Love of All.
I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who fulfilled my needs. A lonely place to be, and so I learned to depend on me. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadows. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself, it is the greatest love of all. I believe the children are future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadows. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself, it is the greatest love of all. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of leads you to a lonely place, find your strength in love.
Thank you, Ms. Francis, for that song of love. Now it's time to introduce this morning's speaker, Rev Ann Shand, teacher to our temple youth, surrogate mother to most of us, and assistant to the pastor here at the temple. It's my pleasure to introduce Rev Ann Shand.
Good morning. Let me add my own words of welcome to those joining us on the love streaming of our Sunday morning services. This is the sharing of our consciousness from the Temple of Light, Kingston, Jamaica. This is indeed a special day, Mother's Day. And in honor of Mother's Day, we say gratitude to the family of Vi Taylor, who had our Thanksgiving service at our temple on Friday, for donating this wonderful arrangement of flowers. Thank you, Ms. Vi, on behalf of the temple family. Yesterday is a special day, Mother's Day, a day that we have set aside to celebrate our mothers and those who have and are mentoring all generations. In fact, anyone who who has ever given birth to an idea and seen it to fruition. And we celebrate that which is within us that nurtures and nourishes. Already our young host, Devon, a member of our young adult group, has set the tone for our sharing this morning. He spoke about what he learned from his mother, and I learned something from Devon as well. The importance of focusing on goals, hard work, and humility. Yes, we have always been told a lot of things, but it is what we have learned, that we have embodied, that will determine our experience in the life's expression of our journey. This morning I wanted to share lessons I have learned from my mother. And in doing that, I'm going to share some ideas from the Judeo-Christian Bible, King James Version, 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 8 to 37. Please read it. It is filled with sound principles. It is the story about Elisha and the Shunammite woman. Here is the story in my own words. Elisha was passing through this village called Shunem. Shunem metaphysically means a place of peace and rest. This meaning is taken from the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary authored by Charles Filmer, the founder of the Unity Movement. Now living in Shunem was this great woman. And Elisha every day, once he's passing through Shunem, onto other places, caught the attention of this great woman. So she offered him bread. He stopped at her house for several times, and indeed she noticed, she was very observant, that he needed a place to stay. And from his very behavior, she knew that he was a man of God. And she implored her husband to alter their home to provide a bedchamber that he could rest on his way to his varied journeys. After resting one day, he called his servant and asked him to get the woman in his presence. This Shunammite woman came into the presence of Elisha, and he said to her, "Thou hast been careful of us. What can I do for you? Is there somebody in authority that I could speak to who could grant a request for you?" And she said, "No, I dwell among my people." Elisha said to his servant, "She doesn't want for anything." But the servant, being very observant himself, noticed that she had no child in the house and her husband was old. Elisha sent for this woman again and said to her that in the right time, the right season, she would embrace a son. She looked at him and said, "Man of God, do not lie to me." Anyway, after due season, this woman conceived and brought forth a son, a miracle child. And I know that indeed the very household was changed by the addition of this child. This child grew up in this house, noticing that his father went to harvest. And on one particular day, he asked his father if he could go out into the fields with him. While being out into the fields, the child developed a headache, and the father sent the child home to its mother. The child rested in the lap of the mother and died shortly after. She came downstairs and asked her husband to provide her with a servant and an ass. And he said to her, "Where are you going?" She said she was in a rush to find Elisha. And he said, "Why?" And she responded, "All shall be well." She went off to find Elisha. Elisha was at a place called Carmel. Carmel metaphysically means a place of consciousness where we realize, demonstrate possibilities according to the law of mind. Elisha noted her presence from afar off and sent the servant to find out, why was she here? The servant said to her, is your husband and child well? And she responded, all is well. So when she got close to Elisha, she held on to his feet, and the servant tried to push her away. Elisha said, no, she's troubled in her spirit, but I cannot understand why intuitively I was not able to pick up the cause of her distress. She called to Elisha, and Elisha looked at her. She said, remember, I did not ask for a child, and even when you told me about the impending birth, I said, do not lie to me. Elisha instantly knew what was the cause of her distress. And Elisha took his staff, his walking stick, blessed it, placed it in the hands of his servant, and sent him to place this blessed walking stick on the child. The woman would not leave Elisha. So Elisha and the woman left where he was and went to the home. When they got to the home, the servant reported that nothing happened to the child when he placed the blessed walking stick on the child. Elisha went upstairs, locked the door, where the child was resting on the bed that that woman had prepared for him in that bedchamber. After praying, he touched the child. He noticed that some measure of life was flowing through the body temple, but the child was still unconscious. Elisha went back down the stairs, walked through the house, then went back upstairs, prayed, touched the child, and the child sneezed, opened its eyes, and Elisha sent for the Shunammite woman and presented to her her miracle son, alive. Friends, this is a fantastic story. This is a story about a woman of principle. She believed that Elisha could have done something for her. And as a result of that belief, her child was brought back to life. My first lesson from that story is about service. That woman knew what service meant. She knew what hospitality meant. She was keen, she was observant, and she noticed Elisha passing through the village every day. And that this man of God, would require bread and lodgings. And she was able to provide just that. Friends, when you think of hospitality, to this Shunammite woman, she was able to preempt the needs of Elisha, and that is just what service is all about. Being able to preempt the needs of our family, our friends, and all who come into our household. Service means commitment, not the offshoot of an ego that requires acknowledgement from the exterior. But service is an avenue for the engagement of the soul, one to another. It's an opportunity for a language of love to be shared between two souls. And in this moment of giving, there is upliftment and expansion of consciousness. And indeed, for all those who are providing service, there's always this propellant that takes place within you in every given moment. So there was never ever any thought of imposition or lethargy or unwillingness to serve. And indeed, this benefits the giver rather than the person. It benefits both the giver and, to me, the receiver gets more out of it. This spontaneous giving of substance that covers all circumstances is indeed a lesson we have all learned from childhood. Our parents and guardians were always giving. And indeed, we were taught generosity, not judgment of the human condition, and indeed what it means to be committed to service within a community. Indeed, it is a privilege to share without awards or accolades. Indeed, it is recommended to give in secret. My second lesson from this Shunammite woman is industry. Through industry, we are able, through spontaneous, creative, imaginative expressions, to give, right, and to work, as well as it is also through structured professional manner. Through a structured profession. That's your profession, in other words. So, this woman, she was given a son. And one would think that this miracle child, she would cuss it. And she would leave at home so that nothing, no harm could come through for her child. But indeed, this child was taught industry from an early age. He went out to the fields with his father. And indeed, it is from this field that he fell ill. But this woman, she's accustomed to industry. She's always busy with a purpose. She's always ensuring that others are happy and contented. In fact, when Elisha said to her, "What can be done for you?" she said she dwelled among her people. This means that she gave her talent, her time, and her treasure to her community in Shunem. And indeed, she was the better off for it. And indeed, this example lends itself to cohesive community spirit, of which this great woman was at the center of it. This is a behavior type that we should exemplify for our children. Our children should be taught how to give to their community, how to do small tasks at home, and through that avenue learn what it means to be industrious, what it means to excel at any given task. And indeed, we know that as we continue to allow our children to operate in that manner, they will learn solution-based thinking. The third lesson I learned from that woman is the lesson of character. What we believe, think, focus on, embody, have faith in, flows out in our experience as character. We know the saying, "Show me your friends and I'll show you who you are." This is character. This is what it means to embody mental attitudes and beliefs. And this leads to the development of us as stable, successful beings. Now this woman had character. She was comfortable in her skin. And indeed, when she was asked if somebody in authority, what could somebody in authority do for her? She replied, "I dwell among my people." She didn't ask for treasure. She didn't ask for land. She didn't ask for anything. She just wanted to dwell among her people. So, you must have realized that she worked unstintingly within her community. She was sensitive to others, and indeed, she showed no panic in this special time. We can also see this in communities where persons who have allowed themselves to be channels have placed gifts of food and water, indeed, at the front of persons' home who, under this new dispensation, are not able to go and shop. They have not left their names and addresses. They have not asked for awards. They're just part of our community experience. And indeed, our mothers exemplify that character, because we know that we have been given the privilege of birthing children, gifts of God. And in order to do that, we allow ourselves to participate in them fully realizing their potential. Yes, we do not, as mothers, want awards or accolades. We continue to experience and express unconditional love, where the server, I think, has the privilege of giving, as we focus on the assignments that are given to us and the joy of sharing self, remembering always that we are the hands and feet of the Christ. Character is also displayed by our frontline personnel, who are giving the gift of their lives rather than taking the route of self-preservation. They give up their time and expertise to keep us safe. There are also those who provide us with electricity, gas, water, pharmaceuticals, anything that ensures our comfort in the face of these challenging times. Character determines the quality of our life experience and attracts into that experience the intangibles which money cannot buy. Intangibles such as peace, stability, commitment to excellence, integrity, happiness, and joy, among others. And my fourth lesson from the Shunammite woman is her faith of God. That faith that was strong and vibrant in the circumstance of losing her child. She was even able to say to her husband, "All shall be well." So, if one defines her behavior metaphysically, this state of shunem, this state of peace, allows her to tap into that carnal sense of the great I am, which Elijah stands for, and allowing the principle, the law, to work, and her child was restored to life. So friends, we can look forward. We can look forward to new life in the face of the possibilities that are around us, knowing that as we tap into this faith of God, this God presence that is within us, we can always turn to at any time, no matter what the obstacle or the challenge. Our mothers exemplified this sterling quality of faith. We know that children do not come with manuals to raise them, and most times we have to tap into that faith intuitively to be able to provide them with whatever it is necessary for them to be able to live worthwhile, successful lives. So I know for mothers at this time, as we continue to allow ourselves to be channels to look after our children and other people's children, we know that there are days when miracles occur and we don't even have time to pay attention. It is just another day in the life of our grandmother and aunt or somebody who went us. This inexhaustible faith that never leaves us. So in summary, the character which we build every day in faith is found on sound principles, and that comes from within us. Zig Ziglar reminds us that the best way to raise positive children in a seeming negative world is to have positive parents who love unconditionally and serve as excellent role models. Friends, we now have the time to learn about our children, who they are. Let us facilitate the bringing forth of their capacities and abilities by living the examples of industry, compassion, generosity, service, spiritual fellowship, resilience, integrity, empathy. We now have the time. So, friends, as they are assigned with their little class assignments, praise and encourage them. Let us use their mistakes to teach them possibilities. Play with them, love them through this time at home. And let us set the trend. Let our households be households of faith, because our children must learn the importance of faith in oneself and faith in our God. So let us assist others in the community where we can. We teach our children generosity and the ability to participate in nationhood. Friends, we are all in this together. The raising of children and living lives that make a difference. And this Shunammite woman who was content to dwell among her people physically, and her mental attitudes reflect her strength. Let us know that the spirit of well-being that flowed from our household is that spirit of well-being that flows from our households. That spirit that blesses our neighbors and indeed ourselves. And indeed, if we cannot give bread, let us pray for our neighbors. Let us pray for our community, and by extension, our country, Jamaica. Prayer is important. It's an important factor in allowing us to experience faith in God and in ourselves. Let prayer always be our first position. Remember at this time, as we allow that presence of God to consistently reveal itself as the prosperity of our homes and our world, this gift of consciousness that we have as a spiritual community can only bless the entire world. So mothers, this Mother's Day, when you are taking some time to do self-care, just remember that divine love that is within you. Allow it to bless every cell, every tissue, every function of your body temple. Giving thanks that the presence of God has brought us to this moment and eternally will continue to provide for us this grace of this universal power and presence that created us out of itself. So, once you're finished that bit of meditation, if anyone should come to mind, use that blessing that you have allowed to pour through your body to bless this individual. And indeed, remember also the persons who have taught you, who have participated in your life experience, who are not with us physically now, my mother and Devon's mother. But we just know on this day that as we celebrate their consciousness that nurtured each one of us, we will continue to grow from strength to strength. Friends, I give you finally a quote from our Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching. He says, and I quote, "We are in the arms of a tenderness. We are in the atmosphere of a sweetness. We are in the presence of light far beyond our dreaming. And in that light there is no darkness. And as we take time to practice this presence, feel the depths of this peace. See the magnificence of this light and this life in each other. Something awakens within us. And in its turn, awakens within those who we meet and the environment which we habitate." End of quote. I think a kind thought for all the world. All the world is happy and blessed. Happy Mother's Day. Namaste.
Thank you, Rev Ann, for reminding us the importance of service, industry, character, and faith in ourselves and in our God. Thank you. Our second musical item this morning is "It's a Lovely Day," sung by Hanit Lalo. Montage in the back are my Sunday school mates. They're showing their way of saying Happy Mother's Day.
Up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love, lays heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and you know it's gonna be a lovely day. A lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seemed impossible to face, when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, oh, then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. A lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seemed impossible to face, then when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, oh, then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Oh yeah, just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. A lovely day. It's gonna be a lovely, lovely day. Oh yeah. Oh, it's gonna be a lovely day. Oh, a lovely day. A lovely day. It's gonna be a lovely day.
I thank you, Honey, and all my temple mates for that lovely montage. Alright, so now I would like to introduce the peace song followed by Rev Ann with the Prayer of Jamaica. And before I go, I just wanted to wish you all Happy Mother's Day. Just keep safe and be strong. Thank you.
With all
of Jamaica. The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established. And so it is. Thank you for joining us. Please remember to join us next week when our pastor, Reverend John Scott, will be the speaker. The Kiwanis Club of Constant Spring will be joining our Sunday morning virtually. So we thank President Cheryl Hay for being part of our experience. Happy Mother's Day. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.